Hey everybody, welcome back to Cigar Review, and this time the cigar I'm reviewing is the new Puro Vida Connecticut Toro. Puro Vida is a local cigar company based out of Biloxi, Mississippi, and it's owned by Eddie Rivers. And what's kind of cool is that Eddie is originally from Honduras, in Danli, Honduras, and moved up here when he was younger to move to Biloxi, Mississippi. His family has owned a pretty large coffee farm that's pretty renowned in Honduras, and he decided he just wants to take some of that land and convert that to grow tobacco for his new cigar line. Now, his new cigar line calls Puro Vida, and basically we have a Connecticut, and I have the other three here too. It's three blends. There's also a Maduro and a habano, which, if I understand this right, it's a double ajero. And basically it's this light, medium, and full. And this one right here, and all three of these actually, we were on a tasting panel. Myself, Shawn Pratt from Nice Tate Ash, another buddy of mine, Roger Sikora, who you've seen on here before, that works at the cigar shop, and a couple of other cigar smokers from the shop, got together with Eddie to discuss each blend. He basically made up several test blends and brought them to us, and we tried them out and gave him our feedback on the burn quality, the flavors, what we would change, what we wouldn't change, and whatnot. And basically, taking our feedback, this is kind of what he came up with. And what I'm going to do today, I'm actually going to do all three of these. I'm going to do reviews on all three cigars. But I'm going to start off with basically the mild body one, and that is the Connecticut. Now, you can see I'm going to let you look at this thing here. It's pretty nice, pretty well made looking cigar. Check the cap there. And then there's a picture of the band. Kind of like the band too. It's black and gold, a little bit of red, but mainly black and gold, just like the Saints. But nice. It's a nice band. It looks real nice, but it's not too overboard. Which, a lot of people get caught up in that. So I like to see the band. This it's still classy, but it's kind of a little bit of glitzy too. But let's take a look at this thing. They retail for about, I think, $8 a cigar, which is not bad for a boutique blend. They don't have some of the resources that some of the larger cigar companies have. So when they build a blend or a cigar line like this, they can't really make it for like $5-6 or whatever. So I think if you keep it under $10 for a boutique blend, I think you're doing really well. So this is a price, what I consider to be a really good price for a boutique blend. But anyway, from what I understand, basically the tobacco, the wrapper is Connecticut, and it's a Nicaraguan Connecticut, and I believe the binder is Nicaraguan, and the filler is Honduran Nicaraguan. Eddie can comment on the review here and let you know, correct that if I'm a little bit wrong on that. But I tried to get a hold of him right before I did this review, but we couldn't hook up or exactly communication, so I'm kind of falling by the seat of my pants on that, what I can remember from our original tasting panel. But anyway, these cigars are available at a lot of cigar shops in Mississippi. I know the cigar shop in Biloxi has them, Godfather's, and I can't remember if it's Madison or Brandon, Mississippi that they're in. Basically, if they're in Jackson, Mississippi, that area. I know there's a couple more that actually have them. I think Starkville Cigars in Starkville, Mississippi, where Mississippi State's at, I think they picked them up. But you probably call one of those shops and pick these up because he hasn't exactly branched out nationally yet, but he's trying to do that now. So anyway, we'll go ahead and cut this thing. Let's see how it is. The draw is a little bit loose, but I'd rather it be loose than to be too stout, just because I can, at least when it's loose, I can control the burn. But like I said, my favorite is that milkshake draw, where it's almost like you're drinking a milkshake through a straw. That kind of resistance is what I look for in a cigar. That way, I get good volume of smoke, but it won't get too hot because I'm smoking it too fast. Kind of slows you down a little bit. So anyway, let's light this thing up. As you can see, there's a lot of smoke put off by the cigar, which is a good thing. Got a little spot that I didn't get. Now, I'm really picky about my Connecticuts. I don't. Most Connecticuts that are real popular, that most people like, to me are more woody, a little bit nutty, something like that. Where I kind of like a kind of a Connecticut that is still woody, but has a nice creaminess to it. It's a little bit sweeter, and kind of like the new wave Connecticut with EP Carrillo. That to me, that's the benchmark Connecticut. That's my favorite one. Or like Habana Port, their house cigars, the Backham. They got one that's kind of like that too. It's really really outstanding, but it's got that kind of a creamy profile to it. Now, when I first tried this cigar out for Eddie at that tasting panel, it was a little bit more on the woodier side, a little bit nutty, kind of like what I consider to be the standard Connecticut flavor profile. I mean, it doesn't taste like every Connecticut, but it has that kind of that same DNA. And I told him personally, it's really kind of not for me, but I wouldn't probably change it much because it would be more popular that way. So anyway, I've only had I think one of these since then, since that tasting panel, and honestly I don't remember. I don't remember what I tasted out of it. So this is kind of going to be an initial impression of the video, but not really because I've had this before and I can still in that tasting panel. But of course, these have changed since then, which was the whole point. It's pretty good. He did change the blend a little bit. What I get that woodiness. I get a little bit of nuttiness too. I get a slight hint of spice, a little bit of black pepper, but it's real faint. But there is a sweetness there. And I don't remember, I didn't get that sweetness at all when we did the tasting panel. So this is pretty cool. I'm glad personally that he added a little bit of that sweetness to it. Yeah, there's a nice spice to it. It's like it's not really black pepper. What it kind of reminds me of more is like a cinnamon. I get that like a cedar, a little bit of that cinnamon, and a nuttiness to it. That's basically the three main flavors I'm getting out of the cigar right off the bat. I mean, you see it's just started here. There is a hint of sweetness to it too, which I really like. I like that. So far so good. I'm gonna smoke this to the halfway point. I'll be back to let you know how it is. See you in a second. Everybody, I'm back. Let me see. I'm about this the middle point now. The burn, it's a little bit uneven. It's not too bad though. As you can see, the ash is a little bit flaky, so I'm having to kind of knock it off a little bit more than I'd like to, just because I don't want it in my lap. But nonetheless, I'm really liking this Connecticut, I have to say. Now, like I said, most Connecticut's have got that woody, a little bit of spice, mainly woody and kind of a nutty profile with the woodiness being the real dominant note. And I like one that has a little bit more sweeter, creamier side to it. Now, what's kind of cool is, and I kind of told Eddie, I said, I wouldn't change it because it'd be more popular, like I said in the intro. But he went back and he's added something to it because I do get a little bit of that sweetness. And I do get a little hint of creaminess too, but it's not a lot. It's almost like he created a hybrid of those two types of Connecticut's in a one cigar, and I'm really enjoying it. It's actually the first cigar of the day. Um, it's smoking really well. I'm not having a problem with the burn because remember I had said that it had kind of a loose straw, but I'm having no issues with the draw whatsoever. I'm actually puffing like normal, and it's doing great, really good. So really, besides the kind of the flaky ash like that, ash not really holding on too well. It's smoking nice. I'm really enjoying it. The flavors are great. I'm getting that cedar nut. I'm basically getting the same notes from the beginning: cedar, some cinnamon. I get a nice nuttiness to it, and there is a little bit of a creaminess and sweetness to it. It's it's not it's not a dominant note. It's kind of an accent note flavor to the rest of them. And actually, I kind of get that the sweetness. I get the sweetness a little bit longer, like right in the beginning of it. I get the hint of that sweetness, and the creaminess comes in a little bit later. But I'm pretty impressed. I actually am, and Connecticut's and Maduros. It's kind of hard to impress me because I'm really picky about the Connecticut's and the Maduros that I smoke. So far so good. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish this cigar off, and I'll let you know my conclusion. I'll see you in a second. Everybody, I'm back. About at the end of the cigar now. The flavors, they kind of remain a little bit, haven't really changed much. The woodiness has really become the dominant note. I'm getting a lot of woodiness now. At the end of it, I am picking up a little bit of that black pepper, and it's tingling in the back of my throat even now as I'm speaking. The creaminess has faded. There is a little hint of sweetness still. The nuttiness I get when I red roll the cigar, I really get the nuttiness then. But when I'm just puffing on the cigar normally, it's kind of has gone away. I don't really get it anymore. The cinnamon note has faded, but it's still there. I still get a little bit of it, but it's really faded. It's almost non-existent. I actually have to think about it to try to pick it out to get that note. But still, nonetheless, this is a really good Connecticut. I mean, it's pretty impressive for Eddie's first foray into the Connecticut here. But I mean, I'm enjoying it. I thought it was a really, really good Connecticut cigar. Like I said, I'm really picky about my Connecticut's, but this is one I could see I could really smoke on a daily basis. And the thing is too, it's got a mild body to it, but it does reach the lower level of medium body. So, I mean, if you're looking for a full body cigar, definitely not. But if you're a majority of cigar smokers that like a medium body, you could definitely smoke this. This is not a really mild Connecticut. This is a mild plus the medium probably bodied cigar. Really good flavor, really good price point, about $8.50, something like that per stick. Really nice, really good. So if you want to get a hold of these, if you're not in the state of Mississippi, you can call Godfather Cigars and ask them, or call the cigar shop in Biloxi, Mississippi, and they'll send you some out. So go ahead and give it a try. I think you'll be impressed. And I'm not saying that just because this is a Mississippi brand cigar. I mean, this is really a pretty good stick. You know what I mean? I put up against all the other Connecticut's out there that I've smoked. But I'm really impressed. I really think it's a really good cigar, So check them out, give them a shot. Let me know what you think. If you can get a hold of some of these, put in the comments. Let me know what you think. So on that note, I'll see you next time.